think the right decision for them is to start with a 450, or do you think they should start with, say, a 350? And yeah, what bike do they start with? Do you think they build two strokes, or do you think that's kind of a crazy decision to make from the offset?
No, again, it's hard to comment really without getting a little bit of an understanding of goals and objectives and ambitions. They may want to be a British TM in terms of their dirt bike investment. That they're very niche. That they're only ever going to produce 3,000 bikes a year, and that they just got a different way of doing it. And that they're not really interested in competing against KTM Group and the Japanese. That in terms of the mass market or mass volume product, maybe isn't what they want to do. And I think this is what's interesting is waiting to see what they put in front of us whenever they put it in front of us, and it could be something that is more for I don't know, sort of riders of a certain age that have a little bit more, disposable income, and that, I really like that, which is, again, is a bit like TM in Italy, that they sell a lot of bikes into their home market, and they are a bit different. They are a little bit more expensive. And that's for people that don't, want to have what everybody else has got, So it'd be interesting to see whether they go down that route or whether they are trying to, shift however many, 1,000 units a year. But in terms of bike, I guess, it again depends on what their primary sort of goal is. If they want to recoup R&D costs, I guess it has to be a 450. 450s sell into the US, they sell into Europe, maybe not
South
the easiest
Africa,
thing to
Australia.
sell as an enduro product in the UK, but they'll sell into Australia. So globally, the 450, 350, 450.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose in the UK as well, the numbers for enduro bike sales are pretty good in the UK comparative to worldwide, but it's still only small, right? Like, I don't know, KTM probably sell 1,000 bikes a year or something, 800 enduro bikes a year. Whereas if you combine Australia, the States, South Africa, and Central Europe, I'm sure they sell a ton more than that, and it's a more viable platform. Like, you could see them making a 450 adventure-ish bike off the back of it, and a motocross bike, and going bigger and going smaller quite easily. Whereas I suppose if they go too small with the engine, they put themselves into that one corner a bit quickly. More in people's heads than the actual bike. Like a 350, it makes almost the same power, right? So it's just a visual thing.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that they're gonna, here's a full range of, 2 strokes, 4 strokes, kids.
I can't imagine that you can afford to do that out the box, just in terms of like the personnel to start that way. That's why KTM, I suppose, they update things kind of sequentially, don't they? Like there'll be one new frame package for all the bikes, and then there'll be one set of engine packages for all the bikes, and the 2 strokes will change and the 4 strokes, and so on and so forth. They never do everything at once, do they?
No. It's it's a huge undertaking. Just again, look at BMW. It's one bike, one engine size,
one sport. Not
one
two.
sport, and you can see how it can go very wrong, with all the best will in the world and all the financing that's needed. So, it's.
No, it's exciting. I think it's exciting. Anyway, I'm kind of like, because Triumph have also got the capacity to go. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I agree. I think anything new is good. And I think, even the bigger, more established manufacturers, certainly from a motorsport perspective, welcome it, because ultimately, beating yourself doesn't really help anybody, does it? Yes, it's a marketing activity, going racing, you fly your flag, but I think to be able to, beat the competition is really what everybody else wants. You see that from, look at Red Bull and Mercedes in Formula One. The enjoyment really isn't in winning; it's beating the other, isn't it? I think. And I think it's really exciting, and I just, it'd be good to get talking to the people that are, that again, those people that maybe we can't talk to now from a BMW perspective, try and find those people. The big thing I think is why, why are you doing it? Why now? and just understanding all of that. But ultimately, anybody that's stepping into the off-road dirt bike sector, it's got to be positive, because the alternative is people going the other way, and that's not good
terrible.
for anyone.
Yeah, it's terrible for all. Because I think most people that watch this love riding their bike off road in some capacity, whether it's a big bike or a small bike. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. You can watch or listen to every episode of the Brake Magazine podcast on our Patreon page, or listen to previous seasons on your favorite podcast app.